Hello, and welcome to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and today I have got another tag video for you. But before we get into the tag, like always, make sure you like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you get regular updates for when I post new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that said, let's get into this tag. Now, I was tagged by Attention. Now, this is a channel that does a lot of philosophical and kind of in-depth nonfiction and kind of general older fiction and books that really make you think. I tend to watch a lot of booktube around fantasy, sci-fi. I even dabble in YA every now and then. I love my, certain YA creators. They just do such a good job. And what Attention does is he gives me something a little different that is on the opposite side of the aisle. Something I usually don't consume, but that I like to think about and think that I might want to consume. He does these fantastic characters that will talk to each other and berate each other, and it's just a lot of fun. He's a great content creator. If you hadn't already checked him out and subscribed, I'm going to go ahead and link his channel down below so you can do so. He is an absolutely fantastic creator. That said, he did tag me in the Bar and The Bookcase tag. Now, this tag was created by the Bar and The Bookcase YouTube channel, so I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description down below, as well as I think the original video, if I can find it, will also be down there. Let's go ahead and get into these questions. I'm going to try and put mostly a little bit of a fantasy spin on this and see how successful I am. All right, starting off for question number 1, the old-fashioned, what is a historical fiction recommendation? I don't really read historical fiction. I don't have a good recommendation for that, but I do have, I'm going to put it right here, the Powder Mage trilogy, which is essentially kind of a fantasy retelling of the French Revolution during the time of Napoleon. And essentially it follows very similar themes. They are pulling down the king. They are trying to install a new government. But this is set within a fantastical world. We start out this trilogy with rebellion. Basically, the king has been captured. He's taken into custody. And they are... they're gonna cut his head off. So that's kind of where we go from there. So it's a nice fantasy series that kind of pulls heavy inspiration from real history. So we're gonna go right there. Question number 2, The Sidecar, a book with a strong supporting character. Now, I know a lot of people don't love Farseer, or if you do, you might like certain other bits of the Realm of the Eldings first. I love Farseer, and I think Night Eyes is a fantastic supporting character. Night Eyes. Night Eyes. Great supporting character. I don't know how many more times I can say Night Eyes. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. The question number 3, The Manhattan, a book that is set in New York. Now, initially I had a bunch of thoughts. I thought I was going to really have to stretch this one. And then I realized one of my favorite books of all time is already set in New York. Now, this is a non-fantasy book. This is going to be the only non-fantasy book on this list. It is a psychological thriller. And I don't know if you can see that, but it is The Cabinet of Curiosities by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. I absolutely love this book. I cannot say enough about it. Oh, it is so good. So, to borrow a line from Alan, this is so good. So good. I have probably read this 4 or 5 times, and it constantly gets better. It has suspense in spades. It's got a great protagonist. I wish that the series had maintained its quality, but sadly, after about book 7 or 8, it started to really go downhill. But this is only book 3, and I think this is going to be a lifelong favorite for me, because it's already been 15 years, and I still love it. All right, let's see. The Bloody Mary. What is a book that scared you and or messed you up? That is an easy one for me. I am terrified of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Now, I know that's an easy answer, but as a new parent, I find that book absolutely terrifying. And if you've read Pet Sematary, you understand why. Yeah. All right. Oof, no, just thinking about that book gives me shivers. I don't, nope. Nope. No, Nope. Let's see. The Espresso Martini. A book that kept you reading into the night. That is going to be this beautiful book. That is John Gwyn's Ruin. I absolutely love this story. It is fantastic. It is fast-paced. John Gwyn is the absolute master of just maybe one more chapter. And you keep saying one more chapter for 6 more hours. So yeah, no, I think I read this in maybe 3 or 4 days, and it's not a thin book. Now don't get me wrong, structurally it's got wide margins and decent line spacing, but it's still almost 700 pages for the US Orbit edition. The Long Island Iced Tea. Hold on. Sorry, I skipped one. The Sazerac, a book that left you disoriented. That is going to be right here. Golden Sun by Mr. Pierce Brown. This book does not let you focus on anything. It is constantly ever-changing plot twists and betrayals and a cliffhanger ending that is just going to have your jaw dropping. This never lets you get comfortable. It is constantly changing, and I was utterly disoriented the entire time I read this. From the very start, pretty much a lot of people don't like book 1. Great. It throws out the majority of book 1 in the first chapter. I love this book. I love it. All right. Moving on to the Long Island Iced Tea, which is one of my favorite drinks. But the prompt is, what is a book that is doing too much? I love this series, but right now I'm still piecing together what I just read because I just finished this book last week. And it's so far-reaching. This is Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson. There is so much going on here. What Steven Erikson has created here is a fantasy world. Usually our fantasy focuses on like one group of characters, maybe 2, on a single continent. This is like 3 continents, 8 groups of characters, and he's trying to bring them all together. It is very complex, very hard to get into, but look at the cover. It is gorgeous. That said, this felt like a lot to take in. Like, I'm still making connections a week after finishing it. So yes, I feel like this one is doing a bit too much. Book with a love triangle. Life triangle. I don't know what I'm saying. That's going to be Brandon Sanderson's Oathbringer, or just the Stormlight Archive in general. Yeah, it's not too much. Well, now, if you've read the Stormlight Archive, you know the life triangle I'm talking about. It also, I believe, gets resolved mostly in this book. So that's why I chose Oathbringer. Yeah, I don't really want to spoil things. Moving right along. A book with kind of a light, chill, and heartwarming vibe. I went with Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. This is a very... Glory never gets old. It's a very fun book. It never takes itself super seriously. Moog, for instance, is very light, very just funny. I mean, Moog's circumstances aren't light and funny, but the character itself never really lets it get him down. And then Slow Hand never really takes anything serious, and just Ganelon and all the characters in the band are fantastic. It is a light story that is a fun twist. It's basically 70s rock and roll. Like, imagine your AC/DC kind of, or Led Zeppelin coming back for one more tour, even though it'll never happen. But yeah, so the old retired mercenaries are giving it one more shot, one more quest, and it's mixed with 70s rock and roll references. So yeah, I really like that. All right, The Dark and Stormy. It's dark, thrilling, and menacing. I believe for this one, I'm going to put it right here. That's going to be Dresden Files Changes. It is a very, very, very... It's not super, like, dark and menacing, but the themes and what Harry goes through is dark and menacing, if that makes any sense. Like, the book isn't given to you as something super dark and depressing. I mean, it's depressing, but it's got an ending that is just going to leave you floored, and it is just so, so good. And finally, we've got the Martini, the last question. And that is going to be Dragon Bone Chair by Mr. Tad Williams, the first book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. I read this 4 or 5 years ago. I believe that this series is used as inspiration by George R. R. Martin for A Song of Ice and Fire. And so for that, it is going to get my classic recommendation. I super enjoy this. It is a bit of a slow burn, so it takes a little while to get going. But once you get your way through it, it is very, very, very rewarding. So that said, guys, it is now down to me to tag some fellow creators, some fellow booktubers. Now let's see, who did I choose here? I am actually going to tag Drew's Book Reviews. He is a fantastic creator. I absolutely love his energy and his enthusiasm. He gives so much in his reviews, and I love listening to him talk and constantly going deeper and deeper and deeper into either be it the Wheel of Time or whatever he is currently reading. I'm also going to take a shot in the dark, and I'm going to tag Alex Nieves, because I know Alex has watched a couple of my videos, so let's see if it takes. Alex, if you don't know him, he is just a down-to-earth guy. His reviews are so full of energy. I remember a while ago he was living in his parents' basement while his house was being finished, and he kept doing these script changes where it was like he'd use Daniel Green's script or something like. It's just funny. His dry humor, he's not purposely doing a comedic thing, but it's dry humor that just slaps every time. Oh, it's so good. I'm going to do Jeremy Fee. Jeremy is kind of an audio-only reviewer, but he just puts out such quality content. And I think he does it like 5 times? 5 times? He's got this thing where he does like Tag Tuesdays and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and tag Jeremy Fee, and I would love to see his take on this tag. And I'm also going to do my friend Megan over at Megan's Reading Revelations. Megan is just a really good friend. She helped push me to start my YouTube channel, and I've actually got to do another tag for her, which will probably be out in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that is everybody that I'm going to tag. And as always, guys, let me know what you think of my my choices in the comments section. I'd love to discuss. And if you would just like to drop in and talk books with me, the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord is down in the description below. We have such a good time. We've got a lot of interesting conversation going on. We like to rib each other and just talk about books and have a great time. So, till next time, stay magical. Peace out. Bye.